Guys, so the season's nearly upon us again. What are your immediate thoughts on this season? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I think it's with what's happened around the club the last probably 3-4 weeks with things that are going on. It's probably the most excited I've been for upcoming season. I think as well going into the season with the squad that we've acquired, not only retained but some lads coming in as well. I think it's probably the most exciting that I've been, and obviously to spend it in the 150th year at Northwich Victoria, it's massive for us.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking back on last season, obviously you've been here all last season, Matt. Chris, you came in shortly after the start of the season, and you guys took over towards the end of the season. What's the main things you took away from your spell at the end of last season?
Just clarity. I think we gave the players clarity on how we wanted them to do things, how we wanted them to play, how we wanted them to conduct themselves, sort of non-negotiables from day one. And to be fair to them, they followed that. We didn't have a lot of training. A big addition was bringing Mark in. In terms of his training on the training ground, the work he does with the players is brilliant. He didn't have a lot of time with them, and the results he got from them is unbelievable. So the lads took everything on board, and I agree, like I say, that if they can continue to do that with the lads we've kept, the lads we've got in better shape probably. The pre-season we've had so far has been really, really positive, fitness-wise. And like I say, the one or two more that we'll bring in, we should be up there challenging at the right end, I think.
Yeah, and in terms of pre-season, obviously we're well in the mix of pre-season training now already. How much of a benefit is it to you guys to have a much more stable setup than last year?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think last year was when I come in. I remember the first training session that I attended, and we had to cut it short early because of the quality was just not there. So what we built throughout the season, what the previous manager built throughout the season was fantastic, and that's one thing that this season we was very, very cautious to make sure that it was going to be a stable. Well, coming into the pre-season, it was all going to be as stable as it could be. And again, I'll touch back on to what I said before, is that it's the first time that I've gone into a pre-season and we've lost probably 2 players, and it's frightening to think that, and it shows what type of a club we're at, and it also shows what type of a group we've got, and the training sessions, what Brody touched on with Mark, that have been out there, have been second to none. So pre-season's gone really well. Looking forward to the first pre-season game against Turton on Tuesday the 2nd. And that's when sort of like we can look at minutes, we can get the under-21s involved, which they've been involved in pre-season as well. So it's just been getting that one club mentality as well, binding in pre-season as well.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned the under-21s there. We saw more of the under-21s featuring towards the end of last season. Is that something you look to continue into this season as well?
Yeah, if they're good enough, the opportunity's there. I'd say, we've been open to saying that it is one squad, and if the lads are showing the ability, showing the right attitude, showing that they're fit enough, strong enough, there's no reason why not. They're fighting for the same shirts as lads that have been here for years or lads that have been here for months, so that's our attitude on it. It's up to them. That's not enough for them to just come and play for us, because they still have to have the ability, they have to have the desire to play at the level. But at the end of the day, the ball's in their court, we've given the opportunity, the lads know that. I think they've fed off that a little bit, and I know the management, the 21s management, have been happy with that as well, which is because we promised that and we've delivered on that. And obviously a couple of them have featured. Obviously Nathan got a winning goal as well at the back end of the season, which was great to see, and I'm sure it was for those involved in the 21s and fan base as well. So yeah, the opportunity's there for them. It's in their ball, their court to go and grab it now.
Yeah. Obviously, I think looking at low points last season, we all know Congleton was probably the low point. What were your high points last year?
I think for me there were several high points. I think away from on the field, I think the high point for me was getting Will Lloyd in through the door. I think the change that he gave us, the energy that he gave us in midfield, that was a massive high point from us as a management team to put a statement in to say, bringing players of his calibre in. I think that some of the performances, the Highgate performance, I thought was outstanding. And coming from not winning so many games, which can't hide away from, to winning the last 7 out of 8, and to go on a run like we did, and especially after the low of Congleton, and I think that showed the mentality of the lads, because the group didn't change. There was the same lads pretty much featured, a bit tweaks 1 or 2 throughout the 13 games that was here. So to win the games that we did, and obviously I think our first game in charge at home at Atherstone was that was, you know, to see the fans how they reacted to us, and I remember there was a video from the Veal that was put out on social media of like all the lads coming off with the chairman Ian involved, and you know, myself and Chris, and everybody just, you know, pretty much grabbed what were there, and it showed like the enthusiasm in the players, with like the togetherness of the club, and that was you know, to come away from that as manager of the club and see that video, it sticks long, like, you know, it'll stick with me for a long time, that little snippet of a video, and I think that sort of bred from there and went onwards. So yeah, the high points, there were plenty, but you know, it's the old saying, we don't stop there on them high points, we create new ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into this season, what can Vix fans expect? What are the aims for this season?
I think the aims, really, the aims probably to go and challenge to win the league. I think probably say playoffs. We talked a lot about playoffs being a target, but I think for us, playoffs is a minimum target. I think with what we've got squad-wise, with what we've kept, what we were going to bring in, which obviously will sort of come out in the next few weeks as well. And I'm with us having 13 games to look at the league we're in, which hasn't changed a great deal. I can't see why we wouldn't be in the mix for playoffs, and certainly pushing higher than that. Obviously you've got to have a little bit of luck along the way. You've got to keep players fit and not suspended in Clarkie's case. But you've got to have things go for you. But I think if we do, when we get a fair rub of the green, we should be up there. There's no reason why not.
Absolutely. Just finally, Chris, do you like pina coladas?
Yeah, I'm getting caught in the rain.
Yeah, that was absolutely. And do you like getting caught in the rain?
I don't mind it.
Class.
Cheers, guys. Nice one.